I've touched on the lawsuit between Zenimax and Oculus a few times now, and to be honest, I said as much and predicted that this lawsuit would go on a long time because, well, it's a lawsuit involving two very big companies with a lot of money and expensive lawyers, but it's actually come to a close. Which, I'm not going to lie, it took me a little bit by surprise, and basically a jury awarded $500 million to Zenimax after finding that the co-founder of Oculus, who of course is none other than Palmer Luckey, and of course by extension the company Oculus, failed to comply with an NDA that he had signed. However, in awarding Zenimax the $500 million, they did also say that Oculus did not misappropriate trade secrets, which of course was the main sort of prong of Zenimax's accusations. The $500 million is broken down into $200 million for the breaking of the NDA and $50 million for copyright infringement. Oculus and Luckey each have to pay $50 million for false designation, and Arib has to pay $150 million for the same. Now, unsurprisingly, Oculus are going to be appealing this particular verdict, but of course they are not looking to exactly drag this court case out, given that, you know, it's not exactly free, but they are still looking to appeal this ruling nonetheless. And an Oculus spokesperson said, quote, "The heart of this case was about whether Oculus stole Zenimax's trade secrets, and the jury found decisively in our favour. We're obviously disappointed by a few other aspects of today's verdict, but we are undeterred. Oculus products are built with Oculus technology, our commitment to the long-term success of VR remains the same, and the entire team will continue the work they've done since day one, developing VR technology that will transform the way people interact and communicate." However, that's not to say that Zenimax are giving up the fight just yet either. They also said to Polygon that after the ruling they may be seeking an injunction to cease the sales of Oculus Rift headsets, at least on a temporary basis. And Zenimax said, quote, "We will consider what further steps we need to take to ensure that we know ongoing use of our misappropriated technology, including by seeking an injunction to restrain Oculus and Facebook from the ongoing use of computer code that the jury found infringed Zenimax's copyrights." And of course that code is the basis of the Oculus Rift software. Now, of course, if they're successful in this regard, it could be pretty damn ugly for Oculus, given that they're not exactly winning in the already not very successful VR market. Of course, the price tag and space requirements and powerful PC requirements. I mean, that VR is, it's trucking along, it's not dead or anything. I'm definitely the believer that VR could be a game changer eventually, but at the moment it's too expensive. And with that in mind, and the fact that, a lot of people consider the HTC Vive to be better, the last thing Oculus needs is for litigation to say, hey, you can't sell your headsets for a bit. However, of course, Oculus aren't exactly going to take that line down, and they did say, of course, that they're going to be appealing the decision to pay Zenimax $500 million. So while the initial court case has come to a close, we should not consider this matter closed at all, as both Zenimax and Oculus are still in the ring and gearing up for round 2. How well it's going to go, only time will tell. I mean, I'm not a lawyer, and I haven't read all the court documents, even if I was one. But Zenimax's claim to the ceasing of selling Oculus seems a little shaky, but I could be wrong. Of course, it's going to be down very much to the courts to see what happens there. But regardless, definitely an owie for Oculus if they end up having to cough up, which of course they will if their appeal fails. Of course, I'll keep you updated as soon as more information becomes available. Thank you very much for watching as always, and I'll see you next time.